about corruption. Everyone here knows about corruption. But corruption comes about when we want something to be done. Yes, we know that. But in this case, take it like we are the citizens. We are the ones who are supposed to be involved in the control of government expenditure. So if we know our grievances, when should we then start corrupting ourselves?
If I were given the mandate to influence the school to allow us to bring funds to school, where would my school go?
He read the diagnosis. To me, it was pure French.
And they were cancerous. I want to have my life back. I miss cooking, you know. I miss... I miss so much. Right now, I can't remember the last time I ever got a pair of shoes, because I think that must have been in 2016, which must have been Batangoma, yeah. The whole of 2017, I haven't even bought myself anything. That's the truth.
Mama, unafanya nini?
Unanikesha fridge.
Ile chakula ilikuwa kumepata. Nimetupa. Kwa nini umetupa chakula mama?
Kumbe Mungu Yesu ni raha. Tumekuja kupate, tumekuja kupare kwa Yesu. Ulizia umambiwe, mambo za shetani akudaiwe. Nasikia kuzitoka. Baba nichukue, nifunze, nataka kusoma. Kwa shule yako, nichukue, nifunze, nataka kusoma. Kwa shule yako. Basi cheza de, dance de, ukiweka de kama Daude. Tunalala amka, Yesu anapepea. Tunalala amka, sidi kutumbea. Don't you see the way I get down, oh? No, ma, brother. When I'm singing praise to my God, oh.
KBC, easy as 1, 2, 3. All simple as do, re, mi. Number one, where are you?
Somebody's thinking. Anticipation. Kula neno. KBS.
Happy birthday. I'm feeling good, so Hollywood, go Hollywood crazy. Join me, Shana, on KBC Channel 1. Big Minds. Well, every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. On the boulevard.
Oh, Jah, bless your sons and daughters.
Big people music, expect the unexpected, but the very best.
True.
People talk.
More fire ndani ya the rave.
Oh, what a wonderful world it will be.
Reggae si ngoma ya watu wa ghetto manze.
Hiyo ndio mentality ya watu wengi.
Reggae ni ngoma ya kila mtu.
I'm the first guy who introduced like dancehall.
I wanted people to respect the border.
Ndani ya the rave.
Naya Bingi will be chanting tonight, and every Wednesday night, catch us live. DJ Stano, Tune and Ready, Big and Ready, live on KBC Channel 1 and KBC Radio Taifa. Ndani ya kipindi inaitwaje?
Well, good afternoon to you. Great thanks for joining us. This is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. For the next 30 minutes or so, we'll be looking at the news making headlines here in the country as well as outside the country. And of course, later, Regina Manyara Gitao will be here with the business news. My name is John Jacob Curia. A stand language interpreter this afternoon is Wilson Mushora. We begin from Kisumu, where at least 3,000 families have been displaced across Kisumu County as raging floods continue to wreak havoc. Residents residing along River Nyando are the most affected. Other areas affected include Nyakach, which is bearing the brunt of heavy downpour, and neighboring Kericho County. Efforts to provide basic essentials and avert an outbreak of waterborne diseases is underway. Achola Simon has that report.
The aftermath of 3 days flooding in parts of Kisumu County can be well exemplified by the struggle of residents residing in close proximity to River Nyando. The houses have been swept away, plants destroyed and livestock lost, and that is not enough. At least 3,000 families have been displaced and forced to reside in rescue centers as they come to terms with the flooding.
Na hii maji vile ilianja juzi, ilinyesha ikajaa paka ikaingia kwa manyumba zetu. Hatukulala jana. Sasa tunaomba tu serikali atusaidie. Kwa sababu hatuna uwezo. Mahindi yetu pia imeenda. Tunalima kidogo kidogo. Sasa mahindi imeenda, maji imejaa. Vitu yetu pia ilienda jana.
Naona mvua imekuja kwa wingi. Vitu vingi zimeenda. Mahindi, vitu mingi tulikuwa tumepanda zimeenda na maji. Hata kwa manyumba huku chini maji inaingia kwa nyumba zaidi.
The aftermath of the raging water visible from the badly damaged houses, with the occupants hard at work trying to make them habitable. Children are busy scooping sand and pouring in the houses to reduce the effects of the mud on the floor. The region has experienced relative reprieve as efforts by the previous county government to desilt rivers in the region to provide for free flow of water had helped arrest frequent bursting of riverbanks leading to floods. That, however, seems to have changed as it is the same old displacement. But across the river, one man's meat is another man's poison. These young men are celebrating the sustained rainfall as it comes with its advantages.
So we are saying thank you to the Lord because it rained and we are now able to get more sand. Yes. So sand, it is also a form of getting income generating activity.
The Kisumu County Commissioner Paul Indola says the government will begin distribution of basic essentials on Tuesday as they continue to take stock of the true scale of destruction. Achola Simon reporting for Channel 1 News from Kisumu County.
And of course, the government needs to act, particularly the county government of Kisumu, to avert the impending crisis. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati has been urged to resign to pave way for reforms at the electoral body. Mwingi Central Member of Parliament Gideon Mulungi lauded the decision by 3 commissioners to resign, saying Chebukati and 2 others remaining should call it a day.
Ready? A day after 3 IEBC commissioners quit citing poor leadership, now the chairman Wafula Chebukati is being urged to follow suit.
Tunasema Chebukati afuate hiyo barabara, atoke kwa ofisi, ndio sasa wanasiasa kupitia kwa katiba ile tuliweka tuweze kuchagua makomishona wengine ambao wanafaa kuongoza uchaguzi wa 2022.
Mwingi Central Member of Parliament Dr. Gideon Mulungi says the writing was already on the wall for Chebukati and 2 other commissioners to do the honorable thing.
Kuna shida kwa IEBC na shida sasa imejitokeza. Tunaambia Chebukati ambaye amebaki akuwe mwanaume na akumbuke vile alisema wakati wa repeat elections.
The latest exit of Consolata Nkatha Maina, who was the vice chair of the commission, Dr. Paul Kurgat and Margaret Mwachanya, could paralyze operations at the constitutional body, which is already without Chief Executive Officer Ezra Chiloba, who is on a 3-month compulsory leave.
Nakuru County Governor Lee Kinyanjui has ordered demolition of all structures constructed along waterways within the Naivasha Central Business District. This is a result of perennial flooding in the lakeside region, which has affected tens of businesses and homes, prompting area residents to protest against the county government.
Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui, while issuing a 2-day notice, said that no structures will be spared in the operation that will also target story buildings within the Naivasha Central Business District. Speaking after visiting the town, Kinyanjui ordered the Department of Public Works in the county to embark on the demolition exercise.
Kwa hivyo kwa siku mbili zijazo tutaanza mpango wa kuweza kufungua mitaro yetu yote, na pia wale ambao wamejenga katika sehemu ambazo ni za maji kupitia ama sehemu za umma, tutakuwa tukiwachukulia hatua ili tuweze kuokoa mji wetu na biashara mingi ambazo zinategemea mji wetu hapa Naivasha.
He at the same time said that they are working with Kenya National Highway Authority to address the deteriorating situation along the Mahimai Narok Road, which had been flooded in the last couple of weeks.
Tunazidi kuwasiliana na shirika la Kenha ili kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo barabara wakati wote inaweza kutumika.
Earlier, area residents had blocked the busy Kariuki Chotara Street by planting cabbages and trees to protest the deteriorating situation of roads in the town. The leader of the majority in the Nakuru County Assembly, Stanley Karanjam, pointed an accusing finger at senior officers in the county for poor planning, which had caused the mess, calling for their sacking.
How do you plan kwa mutaro? Ama tuambie na engineer, nani alijenga hii nyumba? Whose approval was it?
Traders and public service vehicle operators are blaming poor workmanship for the drainage system for the current crisis.
Katika hizi sehemu hizi za maji za kupitia zimejengwa na wale watu ambaye wamenyakua. Ametuhakikishia kuwa hata kama ni wale wamejenga atabomoa.
Opicho Jail for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
The much anticipated validation and enrollment into older persons cash transfer program failed to kick off in Nyeri, to the disappointment of hundreds of elderly persons who had gathered in Nyeri town. This was because the Socio-Development Office did not receive the electronic register in time for the process.
The program that will have ensured that older people are enrolled to the National Safety Net program in order to receive the monthly stipend of 2,000 shillings had a false start in Nyeri town. The senior citizens who had gathered at the YMCA hall in Nyeri town were however assured that the process was still on course and would be expedited once the list was secured. County Commissioner Frederick Shisia, who was the chief guest during the occasion, said that the initiative would go a long way in shielding this vulnerable lot from extreme poverty, hence making their sunset years worthwhile. However, Shisia appealed to the service providers to maintain confidentiality while dealing with the senior citizens to ensure safety of beneficiaries once they collect their funds.
When they are discussing this matter with their agencies, those who provide agency services at the rural setup, I think it's important they maintain the image of the bank and the principle of confidentiality between the service provider and the customer.
He also called for the extension of the service to the grassroots to enhance access by those encountering mobility challenges due to age and health. County Social Development Officer Edward Olepusi said the number of service providers had been increased to 4, who include Kenya Commercial Bank, Cooperative Bank, Equity Bank and Post Bank, in order to serve the huge number of beneficiaries projected to be over 26,000 people.
The beneficiary gets 2,000 shillings per month, but we pay by monthly, which is 4,000 after every 2 months. For the 70 and above, we are backdating their payment from January this year. Our plan was to pay in early May, and I think we are still on course to pay the arrears in early May.
85-year-old John Muhihia exuded confidence of better times ahead, even as he called for the validation exercise to be expedited to end their suffering.
Now, Kajiado County government has allocated 5 acres of land and 3 million shillings for the relocation of Isinya Township Primary School after the plight of students was highlighted on KBC Channel 1. Kajiado County Executive in charge of Education, Samuel Soki, says the pupils will start the second term at the new school, which he says will provide a more conducive learning environment.
A month ago, KBC Channel 1 aired the story of the plight of pupils at Isinya Township Primary School in Kajiado County. Not only did the institution have one toilet, but the staff room was right next to it. Classes were hived off a large room partitioned into 3 by cardboard, and some pupils sat on the floor during lessons. Weeks later, the county government has stepped in to salvage the future of the young learners by allocating 5 acres and 3 million shillings on the relocation of the school.
Surveyors wameenda pale kama surveyors wa county wakademarcate kutoa 5 acres kupitia kwa ruhusa ya mheshimiwa governor ambaye shamba hiyo iko chini ya county government, lakini shule ni adult education, lakini tukasema ya kwamba itakuwa vyema tukirelocate hiyo shule.
County Education Executive Samuel Seki says the pupils will begin second term in a brand new location.
Wakifungua shule tuhakikisha ya kwamba wako mahali ambapo ni safe, mahali pazuri, mahali ambapo inaweza kuwa nzuri hata kusomea.
Seki says the county government is moving with speed to ensure that more than 500 pupils continue with learning uninterrupted.
Well, it's time for us to take a very fast breather, much deserved and well so. But of course, when we come back with more news lined up for you, and you remember President Uhuru Kenyatta is in London. He's begun his official meetings today at the London Stock Exchange. He's also scheduled to meet the Duke, that is Prince Williams at the Buckingham Palace. And of course, there are other meetings scheduled for the President between himself and Theresa May, the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, as well as Queen Elizabeth II. Those details coming up for you after this short breather.
Nilikuwa nina watch show, alafu kuna ile number special 10 zilipeanwa pale, alafu baadaye nikatangaza kuwa mimi ndio mshindi. Naso laba mtaani niko na kioski yangu pale yenye nimeshinda, nda boost ile kioski yangu iko kubwa kidogo, na wasi mcheze $100 ni ya ukweli.
Nawe pia cheza ushinde leo. Top up kwa paybill number 295888 uanzie sasa.
This week on KBC Channel 1.
Elena! Elena! Elena!
My daughter will die. Now the little rag doll is mine. No! No!
I really want to have my life back. I miss cooking, you know. I miss...
Mama, unafanya nini? So unaona nikiosha fridge. Ile chakula ilikuwa kumeka wapi? Nimetupa. What? Kwa nini umetupa chakula mama?
Pokea sifa zote na utukufu.
Takuinamia wewe ni mkuu. Takuinamia.
Welcome back to the bulletin. President Uhuru Kenyatta has this morning presided over the opening of a London Stock Exchange as he sought to promote Kenya as a preferred investment destination. The president, who is attending the Commonwealth Heads of Governments meeting in London, is also scheduled to meet Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, and British Prime Minister Theresa May. President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is in London Tuesday morning, presided over the opening of business at the London Stock Exchange. The president would later hold a meeting with the management and the London Stock Exchange Group, addressing investors on business opportunities in Kenya. The president using the opportunity to persuade investors on the opportunities available not only in Kenya but also in the other African Commonwealth countries. President Kenyatta will later visit the Buckingham Palace, where he is scheduled to have a private meeting with the Duke of Cambridge, Prince William. The president will also attend an event on plastics control organized by UK Prime Minister Theresa May. Later in the day, the president will address the Kenyan Business Forum before delivering a speech at Chatham House, where he will showcase Kenya's achievements in making economic growth and the role it has played in supporting regional peace. And of course, looking forward to that address by President Uhuru Kenyatta this afternoon at Chatham House, and the meeting between himself and Theresa May, the UK Prime Minister, and obviously perhaps tomorrow, the meeting with Queen Elizabeth II. Machakos County Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua has launched a 300 million shillings annual scholarship program for needy higher education students. He said the funds will help address the plight of those who were unlucky in securing the total fees required from the Higher Education Loans Board.
While launching the program at Mavoko Sub-County, Mutua said 8,000 applicants will benefit within the coming months.
The power and freedom to guide one's destiny are found in education and acquisition of skills. This is what I give to you, the youth of Kenya.
Mutua said that the program was an investment that will transform Machakos County in the near future, adding that a society to be literate, skills and higher knowledge should be imparted to the young generation.
Parents, nataka mjue ya kwamba wakiwa shule wakisoma, kazi yangu na watafutia kazi. Tutajenga the new city, wapate kazi na mafactory, wakitoka shule ni kuingia ndani ya kazi.
He urged the Machakos County Assembly members to support the program and encourage eligible students to apply for the scholarships. Beatrice Gatonyingetich, Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
And now, property worth hundreds of millions of shillings was on Monday reduced to ashes after a fire broke out in Kasorina within the resort area of Malindi town. Nothing could be salvaged from the inferno, which spread far, of course, due to the strong winds and the makuti roofing.
The late afternoon fire allegedly started after electric fault outside Kenga Jama House in Kasuarina spread fast to nearby cottages. Italian Nicola Mosca, owner of Kenga Jama House, alleged that sparks from the Kenya power lines ignited the fire, which spread to the Makuti roof, and within a short time it became impossible to pull it out.
We have to be ready. We're in a typical African place where the people come and have holiday to discover the African region. That's why we have Makutis and they are allowed. But we have to be organized. Starting from Kenya Power has got cables next to us, 1 meter. That's not something that I can know or handle.
Mosca lamented that the Kilifi County Fire Brigade arrived much later after much of the property had gone up in flames and the little that remained had been looted. At the nearby Dorado cottages, more than 20 rooms were reduced to ashes.
Tukitaka kujaribu kuorganize mambo ya maji na nini, the wind was too much. Huo moto ukao uko mwingi sana, tungeweza kucontrol. Tukajaribu kupigia fire, tukajaribu kupiga Kenya Power. Kenya Power managed to switch off the power. What fire, as you know.
Residents fault the fire disaster team for slow response, saying they should be on standby to avert such situations.
Police in Kilifi County have been accused of harassing and frustrating traders involved in the mnazi business in the county. Led by Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa, area leaders are now petitioning the county commissioner to intervene and stop the rogue officers, saying they're denying the traders their economic rights.
Speaking in Malindi town, Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa says it's unfortunate that women who depend on the mnazi brew for their livelihood are being frustrated by the police.
Wache kuharas kina mama wa mnazi. Maana mnazi umetufuga sisi, umetusomesha, na hata leo wengine wako shule kwa sababu mama zao na baba zao wanauza pombe ya mnazi.
The legislator urged security chiefs to take action against rogue police officers who she alleges frequently raid drinking dens to solicit for bribes and sometimes take away the day's earning.
Mnazi ni kinywaji ambacho kimetolewa, kiko Mungu ametupa. Tunataka tufuate sheria. Kama tumesema kuuza mnazi mwisho ni saa 5, mbona watu wanaenda kushikwa saa 2?
Aisha added that she plans to propose amendments to the Alcohol Drinks Control Act to protect mnazi trade in Kilifi County.
Nafikiri ile act ile Karisa Maita alikuwa analeta, lazima pia sisi tuanze kuifanyia mafuatilizo ili kuhakikisha kwamba huu mnazi unauzwa na watu wanakunwa bila matatizo na pesa zinapatikana, watoto wasome, watoto wale.
George Karisa, who is the Nakada Coast Region Manager, says though mnazi is not among the banned substances, the county government has a role to regulate its sale in the region.
Kitu kwamba mnazi ni pombe ambayo kwamba haijaharamishwa, lakini kama serikali tulisema kwamba tulikaa na county government tukasema kwamba lazima sasa to regulate consumption, sale and consumption of mnazi.
Mnazi brew is commonly brewed in the coastal areas where coconuts are grown and does not have any chemical additives.
Kwa hivyo mnazi sio kwamba ni si halali. Mnazi ni halali, lakini sasa wanaofanya biashara mnazi lazima operate within the law.
Mnazi ni biashara, ni kinywaji ambacho kimesomesha, tuko na mainjinia, mawakili na watoto wanakula kwa sababu ya mnazi.
For Channel 1 Lunchtime News, I'm Emily Keibade.
Further afield, chemical weapons inspectors in Syria are expected to visit the site of the alleged chemical attack on Wednesday. Russia has disclosed that the international team, which has been in the country since Saturday, has not been allowed to visit Duma.
The chemical attack on 7th April in Douma prompted military strikes on Syrian government targets by the US, UK and France. Early on Tuesday, Syrian state media said the country's air defenses had responded to a missile attack over the western city of Homs. The missiles targeted Shayrat Air Base, and it's not yet clear who is responsible. Another report from the pro-Iranian Hezbollah militia says that the Syrian air defenses had intercepted 3 missiles targeting Dumair military airport, northeast of the capital, Damascus. Syria and its ally Russia deny any chemical attack took place, with Russia calling it a staged thing. A Pentagon spokesperson told an international media house there is no U.S. military activity in the area at the moment.